What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 36 running backs as we head into week 10 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully going to be getting you guys a win because those playoff teams, they're starting to take shape. We want you to win here in week 10. And in the spirit of winning, I also want you guys to win on Thursday Night Football over on Underdog. Underdog is giving us a free pick where Lamar Jackson has to get just one total yard for you to cash. So hopefully you guys are going to be winning on Thursday Night Football when you sign up using code LeagueFFB. That is going to be how you claim that free pick from Lamar Jackson. They'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash if you sign up using our code, or if you want to just click a link, there is a link in the top of the description and in the top of the comment section pinned there for you as well. So hopefully you can win some money and we'll win week 10 as we talk about these top 36 running backs. So without wasting any more time, let's hop right into today's video and let's start talking about these running backs, baby. So as you can see, I got the tier maker pulled up on the screen. We got 7 tiers stemming from the elite RB1s all the way down to your flex plays. We'll go through all 36 of these running backs here in today's episode. So I don't want to waste too much time. Let's hop right into the elite RB1s. And for me, there's only 2 guys here. It's Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. We don't got to talk too much about these guys. These guys are as elite as they can be. The one thing about Saquon Barkley, though, this week is he does have a very easy matchup against Dallas. They're currently ranked 30th against the running back position, giving 26 fantasy points per game to that position group. So Saquon, you saw the backwards hurdle last week. You're going to see a big game most likely this week as well. He's my number 1 overall running back. But let's go to tier 2. Tier 2, I got 6 total running backs in the high-end RB1s. We're going to start it off with Bijan Robinson, followed by Kyren Williams, Achane, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, and I have one more that rounded out, Alvin Kamara. Now, I did debate. Kamara was kind of in this tier 2, maybe in the top of tier 3, but we put him in tier 2 overall. Let's talk about Bijan Robinson because he has a very good matchup this week against the New Orleans Saints. They are currently ranked 27th against the running back position, giving up 24.4 fantasy points per game. He has been very good over the last couple of weeks. There was a lot of chatter early in the year. Is Bijan elite? Is Bijan being overrated? He has lit it up over the last couple of weeks, giving us some really good performances. A good matchup here this week. Still a top 3 running back in my rankings. Let's also talk about Jonathan Taylor because last week wasn't the best week for JT, but this is a very easy matchup against the Buffalo Bills, who currently rank 31st against the running back position, giving up 27.1 fantasy points per game to the group as a whole. So he should have a solid week. Joe Flacco, he better not be as bad as he was last week because if he is, they're going to be calling for Anthony Richardson again there in Indianapolis. But this should be a good matchup here for Jonathan Taylor. And Joe Mixon is as good as it gets at the running back position. He's seeing a ton of usage. He does have a little bit of a tougher matchup here this week. He gets the Detroit Lions, who currently are the 5th best team against the running back position, only giving up 17 fantasy points per game. They just traded for Zadarius Smith. Is that going to be an improvement on their defensive line? Most likely. How involved is he going to be this week? We don't know. We'll see what happens. But Joe Mixon got a tough matchup. He's still going to see the volume. He's still going to see the red zone touches. He's still going to probably fall into the end zone. Still a top 10 play for me in my rankings despite the tough matchup. Now let's go to tier 3. Tier 3, I got 4 running backs in this tier. We're going to kick it off at number 9. We got Breece Hall, followed by Christian McCaffrey. Yes, the return of C-Mac, Aaron Jones, and Jahmyr Gibbs. That rounds out my low-end RB1s. Now, look, Christian McCaffrey is most likely going to be returning this week. I am recording this before we get the injury reports here on Wednesday, so we'll get some more information here later today, even into tomorrow. But Christian McCaffrey, it does look like everything is lining up for him to return from that calf/Achilles injury, the Achilles tendonitis. He should be playing, and this is a great matchup for him as well. Tampa Bay, they're giving up a lot of points to the running back position. 26th right now against the group. 24.1 fantasy points per game is what they're giving up. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to get a full workload. And the reason why I have him down at 10 is because I don't know if he'll get the full workload. The thing is, we know he's going to be used in the receiving game. He should have some red zone touches. He should have an end zone opportunity in this game. He is a big part of this offense. They'll probably take it slow, but Christian McCaffrey, we still got to play him if he's healthy in our lineups. This is what we've been waiting for. If you've waited so long to have him in your lineups, I don't see why we're not throwing him in here this week. Now, additionally, Aaron Jones, he's going to have a very good matchup this week as well. Jacksonville is the matchup. It's going to be on the road. They're currently 28th against the running back position, giving up 25.6 fantasy points per game. He should have some opportunities to feast, and they like to lean on Aaron Jones in these matchups. They started to do it last week as well. He didn't get into the end zone, but they did lean on Aaron Jones last week. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, he is the guy that has the tough matchup in this tier. They get Houston. Houston is a top 4 team against the running backs, only giving up 16.6 fantasy points per game. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, he is one of the elite running back talents in the NFL. Obviously, he splits touches with David Montgomery, but he is used in the receiving game. He's going to get red zone opportunities. He's going to fall into the end zone most likely. This is one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL. This is their identity. Jahmyr Gibbs should still be a low-end RB1 despite the tough matchup. Now let's go to tier 4. Tier 4, I got 7 running backs in this, and this is going to be those safe running back 2s. So I'm more than comfortable throwing them in as my RB2. We're going to kick it off at 13. You got James Cook followed by DeAndre Swift, Tyrone Tracy Jr., James Conner, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, and David Montgomery to round out the rest of that tier. Now, I'll just touch on David Montgomery because we just did it with Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a tougher matchup. Obviously, the same things apply for David Montgomery, but again, very elite offense. He is going to get red zone opportunities. He is going to get a lot of work. He should still be a safe running back to play. But DeAndre Swift, he has a very good matchup this week. He plays the New England Patriots. They're 29th against the running back position, so a bottom 3 defense. They're giving up 25.7 fantasy points per game. He should have a very good opportunity in this one to rack up some points. And then Tyrone Tracy, he gets the Carolina Panthers on the road. This one is in Germany, overseas, 9:30 a.m. on your East Coast time. That is a easy matchup for Tyrone. Carolina is currently 32nd, dead last against the running back group, giving up 30 plus fantasy points per game. Tyrone Tracy has taken over this backfield, and he looks good when he has the football in his hands. I think he's a top 15 player at the running back position this week and a must start for me if you have the opportunity to throw him into your lineup. Now let's go to tier 5. In tier 5, we got a total of 6 running backs in this tier. Kicking it off at 20, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, and Brian Robinson Jr. to round that out. Now I get it. Chase Brown, he had a huge week last week, and everybody's very excited about Chase Brown. He is probable, most likely going to be playing with a rib injury in this one. This is a Thursday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, and that is a very tough matchup for Chase Brown. Now, they are currently ranked 7th against the running back position, only giving up 17.7 fantasy points per game. The Bengals also just traded for Khalil Herbert, and even though I don't expect him to be very involved in this game, it is easy to plug a running back in and say, hey, run the damn ball. So Khalil Herbert should probably get some touches, not a lot, but Chase Brown, he's still going to have some added competition in the backfield, a tough matchup, maybe used in the receiving game. I'm still comfortable playing him, but obviously there is a couple things to consider here with a rib injury, a tough matchup, added Khalil Herbert, yada, yada, yada. Y'all get the picture here with Chase Brown. Now, Tony Pollard, he also has a very tough matchup. He gets the 2nd ranked running back defense here in the NFL against the Los Angeles Chargers, only giving up 14.6 fantasy points per game. I still like the volume that Tony Pollard is getting, but this is a tough matchup. We need to see him fall into the end zone to have a great day. Maybe he can do it, maybe he can't, but these are the fringe RB2s. And let's talk about Brian Robinson because I found him in this tier. He didn't play last week, questionable with a hamstring, worked it out in the pregame, obviously didn't go. It was Austin Eckler the whole way. If he plays this week, which I do hopefully expect him to play, maybe that's just me being hopeful, he finds himself in this fringe RB2 territory against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now let's go to tier 6. Tier 6, I also have 6 more running backs. We'll kick it off with Rachaad White, followed by Bucky Irving, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Raheem Mostert, and Austin Eckler. That rounds out this tier of those low upside RB3s. Now, let's talk about Bucky Irving. He's been probable with a toe injury. He played last week, but he's been dealing with this toe injury, and it sounds like he's going to be dealing with it for the majority of the time. I still think Rachaad White is the 1A in this backfield. Bucky Irving is the 1B. I think both of these guys can be fine, but obviously they cap the upside of each other, making them both these RB3 plays. Now, Javonte Williams, he gets another tough matchup. He had a tough matchup last week, but now he gets the number 1 ranked Kansas City Chiefs defense. Like I said, number 1, only 12.5 fantasy points per game given up to the position every single week. This is going to be very tough for Javonte Williams. This Chiefs defense is elite, to say the least. And then I also want to talk about Rico Dowdle. He plays the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a tough matchup for him. They're a top 3 defense as well, only giving up 15.5 fantasy points per game. He's had some upside in the receiving game, but obviously also with Dak Prescott now out of the lineup, trending towards IR, Cooper Rush is going to be under center. This is going to cap the offense as a whole. There's probably not going to be a lot of scoring opportunities. It's just going to be a slower paced offense in general. That's probably going to affect Rico Dowdle, and that makes him a low upside RB3 for me here this week. And then my last and final tier, let's go to tier 7. I got 5 running backs to finish off the top 36. I got Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren, Tyler Algier, and Devin Singletary to close out the video. Couple tough matchups, couple easy matchups. We'll talk about the tough ones first. That is because that is both the Jacksonville Jaguars. You got Tank Bigsby and ETN. They play the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are a top 6 defense against the running back position. We talked about in the wide receiver positions how they are bad against wide receivers. Well, they're really good against running backs. So only giving up 17 fantasy points per game. We also know that Bigsby and ETN, just like the Tampa Bay backfield, they cap each other's upside. It's really tough for these two guys to both eat when they're both on the football field. And it looks like both of them are going to be on the football field this week. So tough for the Jacksonville Jaguars, probably just flex plays if you have them. I also want to talk about Tyler Algier. He has that easy matchup against the New Orleans Saints. We talked about that with Bijan Robinson being a good matchup. Obviously, that applies to Tyler Algier as well. But Tyler Algier, he's a flex play if you need him in a pinch because of injuries or maybe bye weeks. You're not really looking to start him or force him into your lineup if you don't have to. And the same thing can be said for Devin Singletary. We talked about with Tyrone Tracy, how you get the Carolina Panthers dead last, giving up all those fantasy points per game. It's Tyrone Tracy's backfield, but if you're in a pinch and you need a flex, Devin Singletary, he might even be on some waiver wires. I've seen him dropped in a couple leagues that I'm in, one of them being the Your Idiot League Mates League. I've seen him get dropped. I might be trying to pick him up, play him if you need him in a flex spot, maybe for a running back injury or maybe just a bye week as well. But Devin Singletary, very good matchup against the Carolina Panthers. I think you can play him here this week if you need to. So there you have it, folks. That is my top 36 running backs as we head into week 10. Hopefully going to secure that win. And like I said at the top of the show, if you want to win some money over on Underdog as well, make sure you use code LEAGUEFFB to claim this free pick from Lamar Jackson. Our friends at Underdog, they are giving that to you. So like I said, use code LEAGUEFFB. They'll give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, and you get the Lamar Jackson free pick. That said, folks, if you did enjoy today's content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, go join our free Discord. That's all the promo I'm going to give you today. I will see you on our next episode, though. So until the next one, peace out, baby.